Dick.
Oh,
Oops. Anyways, welcome to the first live stream of the Point Three podcast for 2026. We are your favorite trio of hosts back once again, bringing you the best live stream on superhero pop culture. Lou, Spider Brando, and myself, Hero Scroll, having two great topics we're about to hit you with them. But gentlemen, aside from how we started, hopefully the live didn't catch that. But gents, how you doing today?
listen, y'all. Two words: Deadpool, which is one word. Doom.
Mm,
Double D's.
mm,
Mm.
mm,
Mhm.
mm.
Mhm. I was gonna make a joke, but after everybody likes some double deeps.
Hey, hit the cheer song.
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Oh, Daredevil counts. Daredevil counts.
Daredevil.
That's good. That's good. We got one more D.
DC Comics.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's good. It
Wow.
has a D in it. Anyways, enough about all the D's in this world. Everybody, welcome to the live stream. We got two great topics for you today. Two great topics. First one, the one that we announced. Why is 2026 so important for Marvel and DC? What exactly are they chasing for the superhero genre? The second one, very relevant to everything that is going on with Avengers Doomsday. Why I had to bust out the Doom shirt. We'll get to that in a little bit, but don't you worry. Anyways, gentlemen, 2026, we've talked about it for a little bit now, right? Uh, Talked about all of the things that we are excited to see, excited to kind of maybe experience together. So, for you guys, what do you think Marvel and DC need to chase?
I've been wanting to say this word for a really long time, and I feel like I haven't had a chance. But it's greatness. It is greatness. They both need to chase and build upon what was set up for 2025. Superman laid a great foundation. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four laid a great foundation, and I think got a lot of people back into, hey, these numbers and statistics that everyone uses to justify the worth of a movie doesn't really matter as much. Like, what is the quality? What does it mean to you? What does it look like? And saying, hey, Mr. Mrs. Studio, like, you guys can be great. You have the people here with the eyeballs on your studios, your projects and your films to say, give us something that like people have been wanting for forever. And it's pretty timely because in our Discord, we just had a conversation around Thanos and Infinity War and Endgame. And it's like things that were great. If they came out today, would they still be great? And I think for some of us, the answer is no. And on the flip side, we want more. We have higher standards. And I think meeting some of those higher expectations and chasing that greatness, it would go a long way in just kind of continuing a legacy that's been started back in 2008 and all the way back before in the 2000s with Toby and Hugh when they first came out. And if you want to take it a step further, going back to Batman and really just looking like superhero movies in general, especially shows, they're still in their infancy. We just talked about it last week. Superhero genre is not even 100 years old. And when you get the movies, you're looking at 40 ish years old. Like, we still have that next great all-time project to come. And I think this year there are certain titles that could definitely fit that mold, both for DC potentially and for the MCU.
Very well said. Very well said. What about you, SB?
They definitely need the greatness back, but with greatness also comes hype from the fans. And that's been pretty lackluster the last couple of years, even just from seeing people's reactions to projects that were coming out, or like just from that we've been covering on the podcast. I can't freaking talk. Oh my god,
Uh-oh.
too many P's. Projects that we've been covering on the podcast have not been as hype as like they've been during the Infinity War saga, essentially, from like the whole general casual fan perception. So it's nice to kind of see some of that coming out with the Doomsday trailers. They're not trailers anymore.
The Doomsday
Apparently. They're
clues?
clues.
This is Blue's Clues, baby.
So it's nice to see some of that kind of coming out again, and my group chat's thriving in a way, but also not thriving at the same time. So they just need to chase to pair hype and greatness together. I'm gonna say just communicating with their fans better.
Ooh, interesting.
Because that's just pretty much what led to the hype and the greatness that we had in the Infinity War saga. Because just like we had all the phase announcements, we knew all the projects that were leading up to stuff, and we didn't know the title of Endgame, but we knew there was gonna be some build like Endgame up event, and now it's just we got Doomsday, and when the heck are they even gonna start filming Secret Wars? It's coming out in a year and 11 months.
It's already done.
So
Sorry,
like,
Secret Wars. We never knew. I'm
it
changing
was a
mine.
secret.
SB, you have motivated me to change mine, but I'll wait after you say yours, Hero.
No, I mean, I was gonna say, to me, I think it's really as simple as greatness, and I don't think that the genre has been overall, specifically the movies for Marvel and DC, great. I don't think they have been since probably, I want to say the last great one was probably Wakanda Forever. After that, it's kind of been coasting through things. Dare I say Deadpool and Wolverine. That was great as well. But I think there's been this weird air funk around it for them where I think more and more now it is creating moments. That's what they want to do. They want the viral clips. They want people to make TikToks. They want people to make Instagram posts and be like, oh my God, can you believe it that X thing is coming back? Just look at all the Avengers Doomsday stuff with the X-Men. I think being the best example of like, was it a good trailer? Clue? Yeah, like I can admit that. I think we've talked about that at length that yes, it was not bad. However, was it great? Not at all. Not at all. Why? Because we moved on as soon as trailer 4 hit. Clue 4 hit. No, I'll stop with that bit. But anyways, we moved on very fast. We moved on very fast. And I think when something's truly great, it stays with you. And nothing is sticking, especially with the air around something like Avengers Doomsday, where right now, where instead of saying we're going to be watching the best Avengers movie, we're just sitting here trying to be like, how's this all going to make sense? That's the big question.
But all of those things in my mind, and I didn't think about this when we were prepping for this until now, hearing you guys. I think the biggest thing that they should be chasing, both studios, is trust. Because if you're chasing trust and you have the fans that trust you, I think of like playoff games where the NFL playoffs are going on right now. To rally behind your team, you trust that they're going to do something. When they achieve greatness, they win that Super Bowl, they win that title, they do that thing. You had a long season of trust. You get into those fourth quarters. I'm a Bears fan, y'all. I'm a Bears fan, and they absolutely are dog water for 95% in that game, but you trust when they get down the end, they're going to make that play. And when you do that, you are bought in. I will cheer you every single time. There's a timeout, and then the announcer is like, let's get hype. The entire crowd, the old dude all the way down to the young child, is screaming. Make some noise. Wave the towel. Bang the seats. Like, Marvel fans aren't really doing that. Wrestling fans, like, we talk about that, and I'm just giving you guys other examples of like where ultimately I think the fans could evolve, is getting back to that Hall H type thing, to where Feige comes back on stage and you get the Doom. I mean, it's happened in blips, but it's not as consistent to where I'm willing to be like, I'm sick today. I'm taking PTO so I can watch a live stream of something Marvel. Like that. I don't trust that you're gonna just be like, hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying though? But like, hey, we're gonna launch something at noon on Thursday. And I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna do something else. I'm gonna wait until my phone shows me something, and then I'll be like, well, I'll check it out in 4 hours. Like, you got to build my trust back that if you say this movie is coming out on this day, it's gonna be wild. Be there. I want to be. I want to be. I want to tell my neighbors to go see the movie with me. I want to bump into that old lady down the street and be like, oh, did you see Avengers Doomsday? And she's like, sure did. I want to trust that I could do stuff like that again because no joke, that's how it was. It used to be a conversation starter, but I do not trust today that the MCU nor the DCU. We saw them. I was about to say Mr. Terrific. Oh my God. I was about to say Mr.
Miracle.
Sinister. Mr. Miracle.
Miracle.
God, I went through all the misters. That you're going to put that out and it's going to be great. And it's based on this run. Like, do I trust that you're going to do the Tom King run justice for that series or show? I don't know. That's me. Make me a believer again, but build my trust back. Build our trust back.
And I think that's the funny thing about all of this is that we want to be a part of that. I think we actively are like, we want to be there. We want to be cheering. But then every time that we give the trust, it just feels like that you end up getting hurt by it. It's an abusive relationship right now.
A little bit.
Where you're like, oh my goodness, they told you I'm going to change. And you're like, I believe. And you see like one really good step. And then it just reverts back into just not great habits. And I look at really, I truly look at Avengers Doomsday as this, where there's so many questions, so many things that can make you really apprehensive about it. Then the second you give some trust because they do something good, like for example, I really do think these past 2 trailers have been really good. And then the Russos come out and they're like, they're not. Listen, guys, they are not teasers. They're clues. This isn't even me but doing a bit. This is them trying to tell us there is more to the teaser. So now you have the internet in a frenzy, looking for potential clues in something that I don't really think is even there in that minute.
Timestamps and Endgame. It's crazy.
How do we know that's the thing? I've seen people say it's timestamps from Endgame. I've seen people talk about it's different runs from different comic books connecting to random multiverse stuff. And I'm like, this is such a untrustworthy thing. It really is, because how do you get one super random Captain America run, one super random Loki run, one super random XYZ, and that's a part of the story. But by the way, we're also supposed to tell Doom story.
Yeah,
there's no cohesion anymore, and
boom.
I think that's something they need.
I was gonna say
that's cohesion. That's a good chase.
It is, but we talked about, we kind of talked about it in Discord a little bit of, it feels like the hand isn't talking to the other hand, where you're supposed to go watch all these trailers for Avatar and that's the Disney voice, and then the Marvel Studios voice is like big mystery, and I'm like, don't call it this. And people are taking that at face value. They might have not attended, and they could, and we're gonna talk about it, they might have retconned their own comments soon here, but like, that to me is kind of what we're talking about. That Russo's thing doesn't build trust for me, because I feel misled in a way. If it is true that it's like, this stuff may not matter, you're devaluing it, people are buying into it, but you're saying the clues are the clues are the clues. I shouldn't have to think that hard about a freaking superhero movie fake post-credit scene, and 4 of them at that. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. It really
Potentially
shouldn't
up
be
to
that
7
hard.
of them too.
Right? And it's like, I don't want to say these words and say cash grabby, but again, it does feel like where your buddy comes up to you and then is like, yo, I really like this person. I think they're good for me. And I'm like, dog, like they literally stole your wallet and your car and haven't called you back. And you're like, but they might be the one. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. This doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. But bro, go figure. They show up and they're like, oh, I was just planning your surprise birthday party. Meet me here and bring lots of money. And they're like, oh, see? And then they take your money and you're like, but I missed the party. And I'm like, dog, but your money's gone again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it.
Bring $1 billion, by the way, and all your friends.
Yeah. Bring $1 billion and all your friends' party and leave the money on the porch and then turn around and count to 10. Okay. No, sorry. Count to 3 hours and 45 minutes.
I was gonna say that. It's crazy. Especially if these teasers aren't even like in the movie. I don't even understand how that part makes sense. Because like, what the hell is the context of any of these freaking scenes that we're seeing if they're not going to be in the movie?
Hey, funny enough though, the one that I've seen people go back to the most to speculate on is Thor's.
Yeah.
Which everyone's like, oh, it's the worst one. And now the Russos are like, clue. And they're like, oh, what did Thor say? And I hear people slowing it down like 0.25 listening to it. They're like, did you hear that? I'm like, dog, it's not like, no.
Yeah. If you slow it to 0.15 speed, do a triple backflip and then listen to it on the first Thursday of every other month, you can slowly hear the Russo brothers
at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. Hearing the Russo brothers say,
it's what is it? Wow. Can you imagine if they did like a Marvel scavenger hunt and they hid something like in the world and they're like, go find it?
It'd be cool.
That would be cool.
It would be very cool.
Like a Pokemon Go type thing.
I would do that, but they got
I would be involved in.
They got people doing it for trailers.
An ARG would be very cool.
Mm-hmm.
An ARG would be very cool. I don't think they have that within them, which I think leads me to I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to say in terms of this? Because I was going to say, I think that really leads me into the next topic that we have.
Roll with it.
Okay. Everybody. One of the biggest, and I mean truly the biggest things that, I'm sorry, not the biggest things. One of the biggest theories that a lot of people are running with is how they are going to change a lot of scenes from Infinity War and Endgame and things that we've seen in the Infinity Saga to fit this new narrative of Doomsday. So the big question is, will Doomsday retcon the MCU? Now, before we really answer that question, I think I want to ask you guys this first, and SB, I'll ask you this first. Should they retcon the MCU?
No. At least, especially if they're gonna do a whole freaking soft reboot in a couple movies, anyways. What the heck's the point? Like, work with what you got and make it work, and then do a soft reboot, and then fix everything. Then, what's the point of going back to change all these things because they screwed up the first time and didn't plan back in 2017 like they said they were planning RDJ to come back ever since before he even died? I hate it here.
But he auditioned to be Doom before he was Iron Man.
I don't care. Freaking what's his name? Nicholas Hoult auditioned for Superman, but he became Lex Luthor.
Dude, they'll wreck on that in Man of Tomorrow. They'll make it right.
It's like, who cares?
Here's the hard thing about should they, shouldn't they? Because when you retcon something, you run the risk of negating existing consequences that are impactful to current or future storytelling. And that to me is what's at risk here, because the biggest glaring issue, two of them are still massive here, is how do you make things fit for Robert Downey Jr. because he's Doom? same, new mask, same task. And then you have no freaking story for the Avengers because you haven't had any Avengers. You've had no Avengers before this. And so when you think on the surface, like if the Russos came back and they had a blank slate and they're like, hey, this is what the story is that we want to tell. How do we go back and adjust the things beforehand to make these multi-hour movies that we're going to show people make sense? And so, yes, the tweak, if you do think of Endgame, going back and tweaking certain things like they did, messing with the timeline, that was one of the things people speculated before. They're like, to make this work, you have to ruin something that existed. And that just, it doesn't feel good. But those are the two biggest things. And I'm like, if that's what we have to sacrifice to make Doomsday work, I don't want Doomsday.
Yeah. I agree. And I think the problem with retconning, especially in movies and especially with the MCU, right? Because if you take this into the context of comics, I think retcons work in the sense of comic books because most of the time, retcons will be based off things that people don't like. They'll go back and they'll switch that. So that way that either doesn't exist anymore or is better explained in a different way. I think one of the best retcons ever that people still celebrate to this day that didn't happen too long ago, I think like 2021 or 2022, was when they finally retconned Gwen Stacy sleeping with the Green Goblin. And they're like, psych, not real. People were like, thank God that you explained that away. This was a horrible decision, right? But I think what the problem with the Infinity War and Endgame potential retcons is that, to what you were saying, you end up sacrificing such important aspects of Infinity War and or Endgame that now it makes them look even worse. Which for those of you that are like, oh, that won't be that big an issue. Yes, it is, and the main reason I say that is look at Ant-Man Quantumania. People hate Ant-Man Quantumania because of the lack of follow-up and because of everything that happened post Jonathan Majors. I can guarantee you if something similar happens here where they explain a story away or a piece of story away that was really meant for Infinity War, it won't hold up anymore. And that's a really scary thought because a lot of people hold Infinity War so high.
Yeah.
I want to bring up just not only retconning Infinity War, they're probably going to retcon Kang too. And just
Absolutely.
the Quantumania was, you brought that up, and I was like, you know what? It's even past. I'm scared what they might do with Phase 4 and Phase 5 stuff.
To the point that you said that though, like if you retcon Kang, you run the risk of exposing Loki.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the spookiest thing for me is them changing Loki, because again, this Loki is a new Loki and he's only been this Loki in season 1 and season 2.
Yeah. I mean, do you sacrifice that for Doom though? To explain something away for Doctor Doom? You know what I mean? And that's, I think, the question that they're asking themselves is, what do we take and sacrifice? Because they have to make something out of this, right? There was a rumor going around not too long ago, I think this week, that they were like, again, just a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt, that they're not going to explain Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom look until Secret Wars. And you think about that and you're like, how much are you going to retcon after that or change for the sake of the look alone? And if you really think about that, just that aspect alone, let's say that Doctor Doom is supposed to be a Tony Stark variant and they retcon the fact that, Tony Stark's dad wasn't really his dad, he was an adoptive father. That does really change a lot of things. Or that Tony was supposed to be from Latveria. That changes a lot. And I would argue that negates a lot of what Iron Man goes through. at that point.
Yeah.
And makes Iron Man literally the focal point of the entire MCU, Mr. MCU, feel like garbage.
That damages the rewatchability of the MCU so much. And again, they're like, are you willing to risk a decade's worth of projects and then risk all the stuff that came after that for the sake of making him make sense? Because again, I think like
They got the money for the past stuff already, so to them, it's gonna be what makes them money now.
the thing that hurts though is like they're not afraid to mess with Endgame. They're not afraid to mess with that. Rhodey is a scroll. Rhodey is a scroll. And for whatever reason, people have forgotten that all the time. But like, my guy was one of 3 that were chosen to spend the last moments with Robert Downey Jr. on screen. Pepper, Tom, Rhodey. And that was a scroll.
Damn scroll.
Didn't feel great at all whatsoever. And was a part of a huge reason why people were just like, get Secret Wars. Well, maybe Secret Invasion out of here.
That I would be happy with the retcon.
No, but we have to remember, like, Kevin Feige was all over Secret Invasion. All over Secret Invasion. Was he too busy to find out that Rhodey was a scroll? No. My guy was he was one beat in Nick Fury in that whole show. So I do have a concern with that. And the other one I have the biggest concern with, though, I think more so than even Infinity War and Endgame, because like I just have bad juju around there. It's actually Age of Ultron.
I was about to lead into that because I was going to say there are 2 particular retcons that I definitely want to hear your guys' opinions on, because those are the big theories that are going out there. The first one I do want to talk about, though, is Age of Ultron. What specifically are you afraid they'll touch?
I think the first one is like the most obvious one of Wanda's vision and what it meant. And how that was mostly applicable to just the Ultron initiative. And if Ultron runs wild, then like they're all gonna die, which is true. But then the whole thing of like the suit of armor around the world, like a lot of his monologues around there in the thought of Ultron more so is like the Doom bot, or that leads to something that has to do with, you know, the Sentinel program, or those things are being put in place to again like foster this whole thing of like he always was Doom, and there could have been a slight deviation of his story to lead him to being more Doom-like, but they put in flashbacks to where he's in that Iron Man suit, and they start putting in things that just weren't there whatsoever. But that led it to be like, oh, because again, people thought that, you know, that was Latveria in the beginning, in the trailers and stuff, that Hydra base.
Yeah.
People are like, oh shoot, here it is. And maybe like something about Hydra and what they were working on, and now there's connections to mutants and stuff, and it's not, you know, Wanda and Quicksilver weren't just made from a stone. They were more mutant like. And I know that would be a big retcon of a retcon, but if they go back and just try to weave in more like mutant Doom things into the movie, because that's what everyone going into it, and you can go back and look, those were tons of theories of like, hey, this could happen,
100%.
even though they didn't have the rights to some of these characters, but they were planting seeds back then for this stuff.
Yeah. And I think the really interesting thing too is that if you do go and retcon that, I think it just goes to show you even more the fact that they didn't have this planned. And I think that that's already something they don't want to expose. I really feel that way. I think they're really trying to hold up this image of, even though we all know it's not true, they're really trying to hold the image of this was always the plan since 2009, baby.
They're doing a much better job than the Duffer Brothers. I'll give them that right
They
now.
are. They truly are. R.I.P. Stranger Things fans. But that's the image they're trying to uphold. And I think it's really interesting that you then go to a project they had absolutely nothing to do with, and you're like, I'm using that. That's been that is actually part of the story when actually it wasn't.
Like the Agatha song. That's what you're talking about, right?
Sure.
Tell you,
Potentially.
man, it's the same theme. Aubrey's gonna be in Doomsday.
Listen, you know that they put that theme on the shelf and they were like, they use their own like Marvel AI.
Yeah,
So I can't make me a new song. And then bam.
Death. Oh, death right here. Yeah. If it hit the script term.
Yeah, they hit the Marvel Chat GPT and they said, "Make Death song."
Yeah.
Disney's all up in that shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna SB, I want to ask you this one, and I don't know if you're gonna talk about this one, but do you think that they'll go through and touch anything that they explained from like Multiverse of Madness or even with Loki of like Nexus beings and all this other junk of like, hey, you're important to this world, but if you die, then it doesn't matter, blah 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 blah.
Oh, I hope they can the anchor beings. I hate that concept very much. But Nexus beings and incursions and like alternate timeline stuff, I'd be cool with them keeping because I think those movies did a pretty good job at explaining everything. It's just a lot of different like concepts that were getting thrown out to people across multiple years and different projects, so it's getting confusing. But
Yeah.
like looking back, I think they're all pretty well explained, except for the anchor beings, because it's just still stupid to me. It doesn't make any sense. You tell me somebody could be a freaking just live up to 80 years old out of like a 600 billion year old universe, and then boom, it just dies. Or like, yeah, it's going on its way. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, they didn't really explain how that works
I
exactly.
mean, just
They were
thinking, it's
like,
just in the
if they
thinking in the
die.
nature of universes, how long universes are alive for.
That's why
It
they
just
bury
makes
the Eternals.
sense. Like yeah, it just makes no sense.
And that's the biggest problem is that the more you think about it, the more you're like, wait,
Pisses
how
me
does
off.
that work? Because what if like the universe just started and the anchor being, because it's a being, it's not, doesn't have to be a person, is this random dinosaur that just got obliterated.
Yeah. It's like,
So what, is the
like
universe dead
obviously it would have to be important for the universe. Or I'm like, how the hell is it gonna just determine the freaking tiny speck of sand that's sitting in a whole beach of people in a damn universe of how long a universe is alive for?
Yeah,
Pisses
it
me
doesn't.
off.
It
And then they're
doesn't.
like, oh well, like it's still gonna take a while for it to die anyways. Well, I just get rid of the whole anchor being shit. I hate it. Can it?
To me,
What's
if you
up
are
for
gonna
Holmes?
retcon something, retcon anchor beings. Don't.
Yeah.
I think throw them out. To me, I genuinely think if they do retcon anything, I think it should be incursions and maybe how they work, because they haven't necessarily fully explained how incursions still work. So you could consider it a retcon in a way. I would say closer to an expansion of that lore, which can be used as a retcon sometimes. But again, it's very vague how they use incursions, and I think they can. There's a lot more avenues to bring incursions into Doomsday Secret Wars and make it feel better than anything else. Now, I will say the one retcon that I really hope that we already kind of touched on, that I think goes from Loki and would also damage the show's reputation a lot is Kang. And I don't know why. Maybe because we know a little bit, just from guessing. I have a feeling they're going to try to retcon the He Who Remains stuff and that multiversal war. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and they're like, the him that he was talking about, that they were holding back is actually Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
That was good. That was good.
That was plus.
So I could see that happening, and I don't like that at all.
On those same lines, do you guys think that they will and or should retcon the explanation around time?
More than likely, I think they will, because I keep looking at that first trailer, and the fact that that's what you wanted to lead with is Steve Rogers coming back. You're clearly telling us that he shouldn't have gone back. That's what you're telling.
Yeah.
Like if there's any clue to be gathered, he shouldn't have gone back.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if they're like, "Hey, it doesn't matter if you like put things the way they were, the Infinity Stones, because that's what's actually important." It's like, no, they're gonna explain time travel stuff, and that no matter what, like if you actually mess with it, it'll probably get messed up, which fully negates Endgame as an entirety.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Thinking of how like the ancient one described time in the stones and then how Tony figured out his little like time wheel. Like I could see them messing with that and going through and being like, Tony knew he was messing with time this way because he's Doom.
I would cry.
I'm still on the fence, and I like. There's a part of me in this world, like, and this sounds stupid, but let him fix it to where like Steve sent like the Steve from that time to the future, and he's like, "Hey, do this. I'm gonna stay back here." GG's.
Yeah,
Some way, somehow. I don't know.
because that's the thing. It's like, how do you not make it go into like paradox territory? You know,
Right.
where it's
Did
like
Doctor
if you
Strange not see any of this coming when he was looking at the 14 million
Dude,
possibilities
that's the
before?
last one. That's the last one. That's all right. Well,
I was just about to say that was actually the really big second one that
well
I'm
done,
like,
SB. Well done. Well done.
I
Sorry for
don't.
jumping the gun.
No,
No,
it's all right.
no, it is perfectly fine. I feel like out of all the things that we've talked about so far, the most likely thing they will probably retcon is that. The thing that has the highest probability to be retconned, I genuinely feel like is this.
Oh,
Everything else is probably like a 60%. This everything else has a 60% chance of happening. This is like 90% chance in my mind that they will go back and be like, yo, when Doctor Strange looked into all of the possibilities, he saw Doctor Doom and he saw Tony and he was like, we gotta beat Tony too. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that because at that point forward, everything else that happens after that sucks.
The strange one
It's
feels
tough.
good. The strange
tough.
one feels pretty legit. Any of those, like, I think again, like those big ones of a lot of stuff around Strange, I think is at risk. A lot of stuff around Strange, and I think a lot of stuff around Wanda. And I wouldn't be surprised because, again, technically, this is a soft one, but technically, Wanda's dead. I think that they would be so smart to get rid of that. Based on their book, she was dead. Somehow, rocks can destroy the strongest character in the MCU. Can literally just phase through your life. But she's like, this is, I'm gonna let this mountain take me.
Yeah.
Technically, that could be a retcon of her death, right?
I don't know, man. Unless we see Franklin going to touch a dead body, then it's just all right.
Straight Ghostbusters,
back.
baby, just floating the Wondagore. Sounds good.
Okay, here's an interesting, very interesting retcon that I think we saw it kind of garner some traction. I think Lou, you sent it over the other day. That it was, I think it was, I don't know if someone made this video, uh, but they kind of made it to where like Tony explained that Reed wrote Doctor Doom, Tony Stark, completely out of the MCU as a main character. Would you guys enjoy that retcon? That he was always supposed to be there?
Dude, I'm so down for that. I mean, I went down a dark rabbit hole of like how he could have done it pre Franklin. Technically, Reed's got some devices that he could change reality in certain ways, or at least perception. Don't talk to Sentry about certain things, but there is a way to where the world can forget, you know. I think it involves Strange in some way, somehow. But I don't know if it's Strange is an 828. I don't even know if Doom is gonna be from 828. So like for me, I go back and forth of like, do we want to spend that much time like thinking that this Doom is from the Fantastic Four Earth? I think it could fit. I just like my gut feels that Marvel would much rather have it be this Tony Stark. And there was no Tony Stark in 828.
Yeah. And that's the problem, Rums, is that they can do whatever they want. They absolutely can. And that's the scary part about it, is that they can just really take any aspect of any part of anything within the MCU and just absolutely change it completely
Yeah.
within it, just because they want it to fit the narrative they want. And I genuinely think it's at the point where they're just like, MCU be damned. We're telling the story we want, and that's it.
But don't you guys get the vibe though right now that they're conditioning people in a certain way to kind of look at the movie as a standalone?
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier because I brought up this when is Secret Wars gonna start filming thing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it all day, and I'm like, I know they got like they had to delay Doomsday to finish filming, and they still have to do all these like additional reshoots and stuff for it. And there's no reports anywhere of them doing like a back to back Doomsday Secret Wars filming like they did for Infinity War Endgame. So it's got me thinking like all day, like how I know we still have pretty much all of 2026 still. So like 10 months or 11 months until Doomsday comes out and then another year after that. And we know Fantastic Four was filmed in a year and Spider-Man Brand New Day was filmed in a year. But for a movie like Secret Wars, if they're gonna have all these legacy characters and everything and still have to like it just doesn't make sense to me when they start doing the marketing for Doomsday and like interviews and they have to do production for freaking Secret Wars for the next year. It makes no sense.
I have
Like it just
baseless.
doesn't feel. I feel like I feel like that's gonna get delayed or something. Or
M-
I don't know.
My hunch to that point is I feel they are trying to build enough hype to justify capturing more IMAX slots from Dune. If they don't, think it'll get delayed. I think Doomsday is going to be delayed. I don't think Doomsday. I think there's a real world where Doomsday gets pushed into next year.
Really,
Yeah.
Mm.
I would say more so. I would say Secret Wars is not coming out in 2027.
I don't think Secret Wars is,
Oh,
and we've said for the longest time that these movies are going to be delayed. Like that was the running joke for the longest time, and then it happened,
I
and then
don't
you're like,
think Doomsday would get delayed with all these teasers, and they just did that Doomsday clock video too.
I was gonna
I don't
say
think that. I think that one's
because
pretty sticking.
because of that is where I don't think they will. I think they have committed to it now because of the countdown. And somebody remind me in the chat if I'm wrong. Pretty sure they have like a live countdown going on right now,
It's a live
right?
YouTube video.
Yeah. So I think they are hard committing that Doomsday will be coming out here. And I think them committing to that will allow them to then push back Secret Wars. And I think they might remedy that by either one of two ways. They will either shadow drop something of a project, or they will tell us that Secret Wars is a two-parter. Gary, I genuinely feel that way. And Lou, to answer your question, that are they conditioning us to feel like it's a standalone? In a way, yes, but I would still say no, because everything they're coming out is saying how this is connected to the MCU. This is the plan all along. This is not a standalone by any means. If you're telling me that this has been the plan all along and that, hey, this is a direct sequel to Endgame, that's not a standalone. I think it'll stand alone in the same sense as like Infinity War to Endgame,
yeah,
where you're telling one story and then you kind of finish it and then you're telling the next story. I think it'll be like that. But in the sense of it being its own thing, no, because and even in comparison to an Infinity War, and I think we've said it so often now for people that have been with us for a while, but those that haven't, the Russo brothers had the luxury, genuinely, of coming in with Infinity War and Endgame and just having to write the ending. That's all they had to do. They had to end those 10 years of the MCU up until that point. They had to start and end the story of Thanos, but they had everything built up. With Doomsday, they don't have that. They have to write the beginning, middle, and end. And I'll be honest, I don't think they're good at that. I don't. So I very much see them saying, how do we take the pieces of the MCU, slice them up, dice them up to fit the narrative, retconning everything else for the sake of this one movie, for the sake of Doomsday. Because once they've set Doomsday, they can do whatever the heck they want in Secret Wars.
Isn't it funny with that? This just popped in my head. How important James Gunn was to the Russos.
Absolutely.
And like a lot of the foundation of what they took and ran with was created and or was under his watch.
And they still chose to not showcase certain aspects of it.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think that exact point is why there will be, again, we don't know. We're never going to sit here and be like, we have it on good authority and we have sources and blah, 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 blah. Like, to be like, there's a really good chance this is going to happen, but the source I can't tell you is never right. I just, there is a fear that they'll change things like we discussed to fit the narrative of the story because they have to do exactly what you just said. They have to do the beginning, they have to write the middle, they have to write the end. And we don't have a timeline. We don't have anything specific. What you said earlier, SB, of like getting the transparency to build the hype, that truly is what it does. When they're up, when people are on stage and they're telling us what's going to happen and putting a timestamp to it, that's when the MCU's peak. The MCU is literally unstoppable when they give fans something hard dated that they can march to. And to your point, again, I said I think it's going to get delayed. Very small chance, but with the date, we know we're going to December. We know we're going to summer for Spidey. And that's all they need to care about. That's all we need to care about for the most part. Everything else is a bonus, what it feels like. Except Wonder Man. Oh, yeah, Wonder Man's supposed to tell us why Tony Stark is Doom, by the way. Internet told me that today.
That's crazy.
Knew that, yeah. So we'll get our answers in 2 weeks.
Moon Knight was supposed to a couple years ago, too.
Also. Oh, Moon Knight. Wow, I forgot about him. I hope he's in Doomsday.
Yeah. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Just want the Wolverine and Toby to interact. They probably will in Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's
more than
fine.
likely. Don't forget they have to fix. They won't fix anything. I can guarantee you that.
Dude.
They don't. They won't touch as much as Phase 4 and 5 as we think.
I don't think so, because we know Khonshu's going to whoop Doom. They don't want that. Sorry, I read that not too long ago.
Gaia.
It's like,
Gaia is going to come. Dude, Gaia. All they need is Gaia. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
For real, though. If you really want to be
got
really
all
like
freaking whatever mutation, whatever freaking every power you could think of. It's crazy.
Well, that's why they're gonna cause. That's why 616 is gonna have an incursion. She's not supposed to be here.
Go back to the Game of Thrones first.
She's not supposed to be here. She's in the wrong universe.
Go back to Star Wars.
I will.
Oh, I have one more. That reminded me. I have one more potential retcon.
Go ahead.
Marvel's post-credit scene.
Oh, that would be sad.
With Photon?
Hmm?
In what way?
She wasn't where people. Well, I guess technically it's like we don't know exactly where she is. we can assume based on the door, but that she didn't go to the new Earth that houses all the mutants. She's just somewhere.
Do they just ignore her and leave her alone?
Dude, I think that there's a real world, guys, where she just is freaking in nowhere, and we still see Beast, but it's not that Beast. She's just
stuck
there, and then she'll show up, and she's like, "Oh, here I am,
back, guys."
I'm back."
What I miss?
No, for real though, I could see her just showing up, and they're like, "She got out," and they just delete.
She's so stupid to just not just tie it in with all their freaking X-Men that they're bringing in, and then boom, incursion. She's not supposed to be there. How hard is it to explain that?
But I mean,
hate it here once again.
how are we? How are we going to show that door, and then the next time we see them, we got two old dudes playing chess, and then Cyclops beam into the universe.
They never upgraded it.
They never did. How much are we betting?
No,
Over
don't say that,
100.
SB.
don't.
That's an SB question.
We're all gonna end up with Tomb of Darkness. Come on.
I know. I was gonna say everybody's gonna get a Tomb of Darkness. Yeah. Either way,
I still have it.
I think ultimately, I think what we can take away from this whole conversation, they need to chase consistency and greatness this year. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that whatever they retcon, if they even decide to retcon, is cohesive to the MCU and doesn't take away from the projects that are truly great. That being Infinity War and the last hour of Endgame.
Wait. I thought of one more.
Ooh.
Okay, I have a bonus thing. Guys, I have a bonus retcon.
Oh.
Sam assembled the Avengers right after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
How do they explain it though?
Assemble. You don't need to.
They're just there. They just show
Yeah,
up at the end.
even when he went through for his movie, like he had an Avengers team, and they can go back and explain that him suing the new Avengers was because
They're
already in Avengers. You can't be, and then that whole thing in Thunderbolts, there is an Avengers team already.
Secret Avengers.
Sure.
That's the only way I can see it kind of going if they do that. Is that they do label them as Secret Avengers? Because I mean, a big part of Thunderbolts was that like Val's like, yeah, there's no public heroes.
Yeah. They're off grid. Shang-Chi, Shuri, Sam.
I like that.
I'm a Thunder.
No,
I don't like it. I don't like
put
it.
me in the swirler.
I don't like it. I don't
Dude,
like it.
but that was such a problem for people for so long. Like, why it's an Avengers movie, and the next group of Avengers are multiversal? Like,
There's got to be some Avengers, yeah.
There's got to be some Avengers that exist, and right now we have none leading into this movie. None.
Of the new Avengers.
Not poop them.
True.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it is an issue that it's had, but the funny thing is that like so many projects have been like, the Avengers are gone, the Avengers are dead. There's no Avengers. There's no Avengers. There's no Avengers. Like,
Screw Phase 4 and 5. Screw.
Literally, Brave New World and Thunderbolts were like big plot points. Were like, hey, we need an Avengers team. We don't have one. So for them to just be like, JK, there was one the entire time.
We just couldn't tell you guys.
A Secret Ops one would be cool.
Yeah.
But who runs this?
Or like, what if they all just
Nick
like
Fury.
meet on the hologram?
Shield is
like,
back,
once a month,
baby.
No.
Keep each other.
Sword.
Keep each other
Sword.
posted.
Sword.
No. Nick
Yeah.
Fury's out there with his space alien lady getting jiggy.
Not even.
He doesn't care about the Avengers.
Retcon number 5. Nick Fury cares.
No.
Retcon the Harvest. Dude,
Yes.
Oh,
I could
my
do this all
God.
day.
Yes. Right.
Retcon all of Secret Invasion. They were like, it was a bad dream that Nick Fury had.
We just see him wake up and he's like, huh?
Oh God. He wakes up next to his alien wife and he's like, oh, babe, I had the craziest dream. Like all your
Dude.
people were bad and Gravik, he was just super evil. And she's like, no, he just came out of filming Barbie. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Gravik is a new guy who's playing Galaga for Shield.
Yeah.
And he
We
just
got
had a
nothing
dream.
against. We got nothing against Galaga though.
That's fair. No, we don't.
got
I'm
nothing
just
against
saying,
Galaga.
like, he's just another
Wait,
Shield guy.
Wait,
Bring
so
Maria
you're
Hill
saying he
back.
wakes up and Shield is it was he woke up when Shield died in Winter Soldier?
Retcon the retcon, baby.
Oh,
Dude, they were like, oh, Shield, and then the Russos were like, Shield's been Hydra all along. That
Can we
counts.
talk
Does
about
it
what a
not?
stupid decision that is? Really,
But doesn't that count? Isn't that kind of like a soft retcon to be like, oh,
It's a
they've
hard
been Shield
retcon.
all? Okay, it's a hard retcon. Let them fix what they were doing, baby. That's a hard R.
Whoa.
Literally, retcon R.
Capital R, dude? I to this day think that's one of the dumbest decisions they could have done.
But the movie's peak. It can't be
is.
bad.
It is, but in hindsight, it's not a good decision. It hurts the MCU more than it does help.
Oh, dude, 1,000,000,000%. Bring him back.
Bring Shield back.
Bring him back.
Hashtag bring Shield back.
Just have him just be under the guise of Sword. Bring Sword back. And let them be the secret Avengers. They're just in space, looking at this random space anomaly because we've had 2 massive time jumps.
Yeah, let him be in space, because the Guardians don't exist.
All right, I'll stop now.
Captain Marvel.
No, she doesn't exist apparently. Not to the Russos. To the Russos, that's not a character at all.
You're like Carol. They're like, who?
Who?
Carol.
Carol Danvers? Who's that? Captain Marvel? Is that like something you made? Is that the guy from DC? Is that Shazam? Are you talking about Shazam? We can't use him.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like it. All right, I'm done. I'm thinking, bro, my brain is firing right now. Just useless comments. Just end it.
Rapid fire 2 of them.
I was gonna say retcon mutants in the MCU.
Ooh, I mean, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, maybe. Good.
Miss Marvel and Namor. That's going nowhere. It's literally going nowhere.
I do have a genuine one that I'm curious if Secret Wars will do it, or I'm sorry, not Secret Wars, Doomsday. Secret Wars as well. Will they retcon the symbiote stuff?
Hmm.
Yeah, SB.
And
Will they?
What do you mean? Like the Venom symbiote stuff, or probably not.
Someone's getting it.
Probably not. But they should retcon something about it. I my mind is all over the place with Brand New Day because I read a plot leak today of like a huge thread of it, and I have a lot of mixed.
So we're getting Jean. Just yes or no.
It's not Mayday. I will say that.
I know which. I know
Well,
which.
so it's a Jean?
I know
But,
which plot you're talking about.
One of them was about like something to do with the symbiote that was found from like the No Way Home post credit scene.
There's only 2 possible. I have not read this.
And I was like, seems eh.
So
I don't know. I have mixed feelings.
Scorpion gets it.
I like the end of the movie. Like they literally do nothing with it, and then at the end of the movie, it's just a symbiote, and it's like, oh yeah, like we got this thing now.
Tombstone
And
gives
that
it
was
to him.
it.
Tombstone gives him the thing. Dude, I'm telling you, I have this in a thread. Internet. I have timestamps.
I did read a lot of comments that it was just like proven fake though, but I don't know because the Superman freaking script leak last year, and everyone said that. Everyone was like, "Oh, no way this would be real. It sounds like shit," and then it actually was real and turned out really good. So I don't know. Give Tom. All I'm gonna say right now. Give Andrew the symbiote on Secret Wars, and do not retcon that.
Dude, why would it not go to Tom though?
What that both happen? Like I just want Andrew to have
black
some moment.
And Toby's just swinging over there with you, like, dude.
Tom could have it. I just want Andrew to have it just to do the Secret Wars comic cover. That's all I care about. I want him to have at least like Tom has a million freaking MCU projects under its belt. Andrew needs a damn closure with the Secret Wars comic cover and fighting that alien.
Listen.
Give him some new cheese. I'm sorry.
That's incredible, guys. So the black suit can only happen in Secret Wars.
That's what it seems like what they're doing at this point. I don't know, because if we thought the Scorpion was going to get it like in Brand New Day, but if that fragment doesn't get introduced to the end of the movie, I don't know. I guess it could be something down the road.
I think it should happen in Brand New Day.
I think it should too.
My perfect
I always
world.
think a seed of it gets started. I don't know.
No, my perfect world movie. You guys are gonna hate this, and I still think about this. Scorpion gets a symbiote, kills Tom. Tom is dying. Doom shows up and kills Scorpion. And that's what his entrance in the 616 literally is randomly there. It doesn't matter why. I don't need a motivation for it. But he does. And the symbiote crawls to Tom and brings him back to life. And you get a Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland interaction. Don't know what else happens after that. I don't care. That's just what I want to see. Thank you for listening. And I don't need to know what you guys are thinking right now, but just thank you for listening.
I feel like you said that to piss me off. I'm kidding.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
Listen.
I don't want Tom.
Dude, they have to.
They
have to. They need to see.
Feels so random.
For Tom to see Robert Downey Jr. and like them to have.
No, for him just randomly show up like that at the end of the movie.
Thanos randomly showed up and killed Thor or killed Loki.
Yeah, I mean, he was chasing the stones at least. He was just they crossed paths in a wrong area.
The Guardians just happened to hear a beacon of distress from way the hell away, and it was only one beacon.
They're like, "Hey, we're here now."
All right. What about if it happens after Tom dies and gets a symbiote, and then that has to do with like some type of freaking, I don't know, codex shit.
No.
Then I'll be like, all right, with like Doom. Well, no, but not relating to Null. Not relating to codex to Null. Just like Doom has the power to see some, like he could see the beacon or some shit too. The codex too. And then he goes there and I was like, all right.
We have some really good ideas right now. Top tier.
Clearly, the first live stream of 2026 is long. No, it's it'll be interesting to see what they do. Very interesting. Yeah.
Well done, guys. Let's hope they don't retcon a bunch of stuff. Nah, dude, I want to see how people respond.
A year ago, this video is going to be hilarious to look back on to see what was retcon and what wasn't.
I am very curious when we watch this back a year from now.
Wait. Okay, let's solidify this. What's your number one thing you think that they're going to retcon? One more time. Recap it for me.
I truly think they will retcon the Doctor Strange moment where he looks into time with all 14 million and however many possibilities, and they're gonna retcon it that he also saw Doctor Doom.
SB.
I think they're gonna probably the. I didn't really have a top one. Oh, what the fuck? My ad block popped up. Oh, I thought I lagged out for a second. I'll say my top. What I think they'll retcon is anchor beings, just because I want them to retcon anchor beings. Oh wait, it has to be from the Infinity Saga or Infinity War Saga.
No, anything.
Okay, I'm going with anchor beings then.
Okay.
What
I'm gonna
about
go
you?
with the vision that he saw in Age of Ultron.
Those are all very real possibilities, which is really funny. There's so many, and again, like I think that's the. Hopefully, if they do it in a way that feels good. I think for most of them, I don't see how they do it. However, it's not our job to be the writers of the movie, so we don't have to deal with that. It's the Russo brothers and Marvel and whoever is writing their script, whatever the person's name is, I always forget.
ChatGPT.
Probably. More
Just
than
kidding.
likely.
I'm kidding.
Probably
I'm
have
kidding.
I mean, they probably have a few tabs open, like the Duffer Brothers.
Oh,
Either
that
way.
was actually I will give I believe another screenshot it was posted of like those tabs, and it wasn't actually ChatGPT.
Right.
But then the producer, somebody was like, "Oh, like everybody, yeah." I don't know. It was weird. It was weird.
The producer came out
It's
and
weird
just
stuff.
snitched on themselves.
Yeah, he said some weird. He said a weird comment, but
Either way,
I
let's
don't
see.
know.
Let's see what Doomsday holds. How many retcons they have? Will it be certain retcons, or like Rome said, will it be retcons for everybody? Let's be honest. That's also not out of the realm of possibility completely.
Retcons for
though,
everyone.
for real.
Yeah.
Everybody though, let us know what you guys think. What do you guys think they will retcon? Who do you think they will retcon? Why do you think they will retcon? We've been your favorite trio of hosts. This has been the first live stream of 2026. We're flying by the seat of our pants for this one. It was fun though. Great one to start off with. But definitely stay tuned to the channel. We have a lot coming up. A lot. So everybody that watched live in chat, thank you so much as always for you guys' support. We really appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't, join our Discord because they also eat first and we talk about a lot of stuff on there every day, every single day, nonstop, 24/7, unless we're asleep. And yeah, anything else you guys got to add?
Not very often.
No, bro. Rome's. We appreciate you in the chat, man. We appreciate you in the chat. That was. I did finally just see Punisher War Machine. Let's talk about that coming up here soon.
We definitely will. We definitely will. Such a good run. Anyways, we've been your favorite trio of hosts, everybody. Lou, Spider Brando, and myself, Hero Scroll. Thank you so much for joining us. We love every single one of you. We'll catch you on the next live stream. SB. Until then, though, what do they gotta do?
You gotta keep watching, keep reading, keep nerding out, and a bonus fourth one, keep retconning.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. Keep chasing greatness.
For real.